I'm Ehsan. In this video, I want to show how use timer-based interrupts in STM32 micro. At first, I prepare a document of timer and I want to show how it's work. Okay, go through this document. This is a summary of timer. Timer is really a lot of things to know, but this is the part of that I want to explain. Timer of STM32, we have main CPU clock, its name HCL call. It's a different. It can be different for mini micro, but I use the micro. The internal clock is 8 MHz. After that, we have prescaler. What the prescaler? Prescaler is divided to main CPU clock to on we have to do for something. For example, we divided to 8 kilo or 10 kilo or other so on, we can use it. After that, we have timer block. Uh, After main CPU clock, HCL car, pre-scaled, we have produced one signal and go through the timer block. For example, in this example, 1 kilohertz. This is the important thing I want to show that main CPU is divided to pre-scale. We produce input of timer block. As you know, this is the T is about period, and this is the F is about frequency. Uh, when we divided 8 megahertz to 8 kilohertz, we produce input of timer block 1 kilohertz. And as you know, we want to know how it's make. 1 divided to 1 kilo, we produce 1 millisecond for every play scale. I mean, we have the main CPU in here. After that, we have pre-scale. Pre-scale is divided to what you want to use in timer. And after that, yeah, go input of timer block. And these two things is can be variable in every case, but in my example, because I use my micro is internal clock is 8 megahertz and pre-scaler of my example is 8 kilohertz. Okay, go through the user manual of Hall, and show important thing. I use it in my code. Uh, Yeah, this is the whole time generic driver, and this is a function. I use it. Yes, uh, I use this function whole underline tim base underline start it. It means we have interrupt in my program. This is the one function I use it. After that, we need to routine interrupt routine in my code, and I show you where is it, the interrupt code, interrupt routine. uh TIM callback function. Callback is related to interrupt, and when we use time underline base, the callback function is period elapsed callback. This is the uh, routine of interrupt. Okay, go through the STM CubeMix and make the project. I open the CubeMix. And here's my micro. Okay, STM32 F103RE. This is micro, I use it. And go to system core as I always say, and change the no debug to serial while. After that, go to timer. In this project, I use TIM3, for example, and show about timer based interrupt. Okay, go through the TIM3, and this page is open, and change the clock source to internal clock. Okay, go to parameter setting, and this is my prescaler. As I say, I make it 8 kilohertz is 8 8000, and this is the auto reload register, and set as uh, 499. It's near to 500 millisecond. I want to one of my LED on my board have delay with the timer, and it's on and off or toggle pin every 50 100 millisecond. And go to NVIC and tick their option for interrupt, and go to the pin configuration, and one of my pin is output. For example, PB13 is output. Okay, is output. Yes, I see that everything is okay. Again, okay, the clock source is internal clock, and parameter setting is changed. The prescaler is that, as I explained. This is auto reload register, set as this, and go to NVIC and tick this part. Okay, go to project manager. For example, the name is test. I use the Kale, and go to ticket option, copy only the necessary library, and save key test. Save to test, go to test folder and open it. Okay, everything is alright. And generate code. Open the project. Go to application user main.c and write this part. Well, at first, enable the interrupt IT for timer. Go to this line, and I use it. I prepare the code before I use it because I don't have time to write. Okay, uh, this is the timer base IT. Oh, I put it in wrong way. I cut it, and this is part I enable the interrupt routine. Don't forget that. After that, this is the function. It can enable to interrupt routine for timer 3, and we have routine interrupt. It can be here or uh, at the end of the program. I choose this at the end of the program to write this code. Uh, where is user begin for in here? Okay, I copy this function in here and I explain that what happened. Okay, this is the period elapsed callback is for start IT for timer uh, as I explained. And this is the number of timer I use it in timer 3 I use that. Okay, and one of the pin is output. I output pin PB13 and I toggle the pin because every 50 100 uh, second we have interrupt and this pin is toggle. It means change to 0 or 1. And this is it. We don't have anything more. Okay, go to option for setting, debug, flash download and reset and tick this option for reset automatically when you program on board and compile this code. It maybe take a second. Okay, program on my board and I show you what happened. This is my board. As you can see, this is my LED blink here in timer for 500 millisecond. Yeah, this is the timer and thanks for watching me. Please subscribe me.